Now, the news. Lever guns are on the menu again this week, and it's a new one from Smith & Wesson. We covered the original release of their 1854 a little while back. I don't remember exactly when it came out, but it was recently. They seem like really nice guns. I've handled them. They seem well built. Now, they've added one to the lineup that I've seen you guys begging for in the comments. You can now get them in 4570 Government. There are going to be two versions of this gun. Of course, we have the stainless steel version with a 20-inch barrel, a threaded muzzle, 6-round in the tube, and then we have the synthetic stock out back. But we also have the sort of classic version with what they call the Armor Knight black finish and walnut furniture. It's the same as the other gun with everything else, same barrel, same magazine, etc. This brings the 1854 from Smith into a different arena. It was previously just revolver cartridges, and that's the arena of hunting. 4570 is no joke for straight wall hunting, and if you add a suppressor, it's even better. And if they can get that set up to work well, then it's only a matter of time before they make one in 500 Magnum like they should. MSRP on the stainless and black version is $1,400, and you pay $100 more to get the wood stock version. I'm wondering, when are they going to release more calibers in the Stealth Hunter version of this gun? I really like that one. I will restate for the record, I want to see this in 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. It's in the name. It's obligatory at this point, right? Welcome back to another episode of the Gun Collective News. I'm John Patton, and if you are a gun enthusiast watching this show and you happen to live in New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, or even Ohio, I fully expect to see you at GunCon this year. There's no reason not to go. This is one of the most well-rounded gun events out there with a whole bunch of new product showcases from all kinds of brands. We've got all types, brand new to established brands, Q&A panels with tons of creators and Second Amendment organizations represented, and so much more. We also just added a fireside chat with the Attorney General of Missouri, Andrew Bailey, the guy who has been pushing back against censorship and also sued China and won. Tickets are on sale right now at guncon.net. Get them now before they're all sold out. That would be great if you got some tickets. And stick around until the end of the episode because I have a really smoking deal of the week for you guys you will not want to miss. Moving on, we're back to the Wild West, I suppose, with two guns from Cimarron, and it's not quite what you might think. They are styled after the old school single action cowboy guns from way back, you know, your John Wayne style stuff. One has a 4 3/4 inch barrel with a traditional grip and a color case frame, while the other has a 3.5 inch barrel, color case frame, and whatever shape this grip is called. Maybe we'll call it the Derpy Parrot grip. I don't know. The thing that makes these more interesting is that they come with two cylinders. One for 38 special, which is, I don't know, fine, I guess. And the other is 9mm, which is a little bit more interesting. I personally love seeing old school guns in modern cartridges, so this is pretty neat to me. The MSRP on the larger one is $700-ish, and the smaller one carries an MSRP of $785. I can't recall ever shooting one of their guns, and that's kind of rare for me. I've shot a lot of stuff. So if you have any experience with Cimarron stuff, let us know down in the comments. Are they good? Are they trash? They're priced like they should be good, right? Moving on from there, Springfield Armory has a new version of their St. Victor pistols. We covered the 9mm version not super long ago. I believe it was around the beginning of the year. And now they've brought out the 5.56 version. The specs are fairly simple. Has an 11.5 inch barrel with a 1-in-7 twist, A2 flash hider on the end of that. It's chambered in 5.56, as you would expect for the 5.56 version. Has forged receivers, a B5 pistol grip, SB A3 brace out back, because that's the appropriate thing for this. Then you have an ambi safety, M-lock handguard, and it ships with a, I guess, no-name set of flip-up sights. They're probably Springfield's own flip-up sights. It seems like a pretty straightforward, like middle-of-the-road 5.56 pistol, and it's got a price for that as well, with an MSRP of $1150. In other new gun news, SK Guns has a limited run 1911 for us. It's called the Solo Lobo, which is apparently going to translate to Lone Wolf. It's chambered in 38 Super, has a 5-inch barrel, and a more traditional grip safety, trigger, and hammer combo. It is a Colt basic gun underneath all that. The gun is covered in pure silver and has tons of engraving all over it, including a wolf howling at the moon. You can also get a limited edition knife that sort of matches this one as well. MSRP on the pistol is $2,900 with only 200 being made, and the knife is $800 extra and is made by a company I'm not familiar with called Snyder Knives. I have no idea about them. They might be awesome. Of all the guns SK has done in recent time that we cover all of them. This gun has a color scheme that I really like and an overall design that I just hate. I hate it. I think the lone wolf thing is pretty corny and reminds me of that like Walmart t-shirt where there are wolves howling at the moon. I'd love to know if you guys like this one. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it's so cringe that it's great. I don't know. You kids are weird these days. I feel old. Sound off in the comments about it. Let's keep it rolling with this week's friendly fire question. If you want to ask me a question, slam it down in the comments with the words friendly fire so that I can go back and find it. That's how this works. You guys help me out by doing that. We'll rapid fire a few this week. What's your favorite 12 gauge shotgun brand, model, and why? And do I prefer ported barrels over non? The Beretta A400 Extreme is currently my favorite for hunting. It's super soft shooting, ultra reliable, plus it's got 3.5-inch chamber, and those shells are a lot of fun. I don't care if it's ported or not, for the record. I don't care. On the tactical side, I really like the Fostech Origin 12 and the Genesis 12. So, yeah, you know, you got that going for you. Mitch says, do you think suppressor prices will come down once they are removed from the NFA? First off, that has not happened yet and may not. And second, no, I don't think they'll come down for a long while until that sort of tapers off. That initial demand, prices will spike. Brands will be just printing money like crazy if that ever happens. Ed Lubb says, do you think more chassis system pistols will open a new market for 3D printed grip modules? Yes. I've been getting more into 3D printing myself. I got a Bamboo Labs X1C, and I think it would be awesome if tariffs don't destroy the consumer 3D printing world. That'd be kind of cool. And Scotty Mack says, any plans for GunCon out west in the future? There are no plans as of yet, but it's not out of the question for the future. It could be a year or two before we have enough support to continue to make maybe more than one a year happen. I don't know. So I guess we'll see you in Cleveland this year, right? Okay, how's about some more new stuff? As it turns out, IWI has a full line of suppressors now. I definitely did not expect that. I was not thinking they were going to come out with cans, but that's cool. They have launched with 5 different cans. There's the IWS 22, which is a rimfire can made with titanium internals and an aluminum body that weighs 6 ounces for an MSRP of $440. Then you have the 6 and 6K versions, which are meant for 6mm and smaller cartridges, obviously. They use a nickel alloy for the internals. They're not calling them baffles, so it may not, it's probably like some of the twisty stuff. And it's also got stainless components as well. The 6 is 6.4 inches long, while the 6K is 4.9. MSRPs are $780 for the long boy and $730 respectively. Then you have the 7 and 7 Ti versions, which are meant for 7.62 cartridges. The 7 is 6.4 inches long and has the same nickel alloy inside as the 6mm can, and then carries an MSRP of $850, while the titanium internal version carries an MSRP of $1210 and is 7.4 inches long. All of these have one thing in common. They're using the term reduced pathogen to describe the cans. I suppose that means more stuff is coming out of the muzzle end as opposed to the ejection port, which seems to be a really popular thing these days, and I am absolutely all for it. That's great. In other news, Timney Triggers has a sort of sister brand, I guess. It's called Access Triggers. And unlike Timney, they are not the sort of all-in-one drop-in style, but rather a more classic trigger set up for ARs. On launch, they have 3 different versions of the same trigger, it seems, depending on the finish that you want on the actual trigger blade. From my perspective, having yet another affordable option for triggers is not a bad thing, especially if they're better or sort of a mil-spec plus version. I like that. MSRP here ranges from $66 for a basic finish up to $88. Cool. In gun industry news, according to a pop-up on Adams Arms website, they are making a return. We watched them sort of spiral into the drain not super long ago, and now a company called Alexandria Profab has acquired the inventory and intellectual property of Adams Arms. Now, previously, Adams Arms was based out of Florida, but it appears they might be moving because This new Profab brand is based in Minnesota. I am really hopeful that they can breathe life into Adams and maybe more importantly, some innovation back into the brand as well. Time will tell us what's going to happen there. And as promised, I have an absolutely smoking deal of the week for you guys. This is one that is the best deal on the internet for these particular tools. Wheeler just loves you guys. Every time we do a deal with Wheeler, you guys buy a bunch of them, so they want to keep doing it. If you use the code FATJOHN40, F-A-T-J-O-N 40, you can grab either the analog or digital version of the Fat Wrench for 40% off. The digital one also includes free shipping, which is a nice touch. And if you use the link in the description, you'll get 20% off of everything else they sell. So 20% off of that stuff and then 40 for those fat wrenches. The last time we did this, they ran out of stock on these things. So if you're thinking about it or even want one for like a range kit or just need one around the house, this is an excellent deal and you don't want to miss it. The link is in the description and the code again is FATJOHN40. See ya.